All right, campers, it's time to make the snake on the pole bracelet. This is the second kind of bracelet we're gonna try making. So I want you to just look at the bracelet for a moment and see that there's 4 different colors, and each color has a 1/2 inch segment going down each bracelet, so there's a distinct color stripe as we go down. There's also, it might be a little hard to see on camera, but there's also a little line kind of tracing down the bracelet as I twist, and that's kind of the snake that's on the pole. It's also called Chinese staircase. So if you imagine like a really tightly wound staircase up to like a castle, that is what this bracelet looks like. So we're gonna show you how to make that now. So for this bracelet, I would recommend using about 4 different colors. You could do as little as 3 or as many as 5 or 6, but I think 4 is a great place to start. And to be able to know how much string to use, I am just gonna cut a piece of string for each color that's about the length of my arm. And that's pretty much a good measuring gauge no matter what size your wrist is. That's kind of what I found. So just about the size of your arm. So I'm starting with my white piece. I'm gonna cut that off. And the great thing is, once you measure 1 piece of string, you can just use that as a measuring piece, so you don't have to use your arm every single time. So it can be a bit more exact if you use a measuring piece. So now that I have my 4 pieces of string, I'm just gonna pinch the one end and take it around my 2 fingers to make a loop and pull the tail through the loop and pull it tight just like that. So it's nice to leave about 1 inch to the top of your bracelet here. So sometimes I like to clip my bracelets to my water bottles, but because this one only has ends that are not in a loop, you can't clip it on anything, but you could use a piece of tape to tape it to a water bottle or to a flat surface, but I'm just gonna clip it into my clipboard. So I'll set this bracelet aside for now and we can bring it out later so we can see what our existing bracelet looks like. We're gonna get started on making the snake on the pole. So for this one, you might wanna have a good idea of what order you wanna see your different colors. So I'm just gonna kind of try to separate my strings out a little bit so I can figure out where I want them so they're not super twisted. And I think I'm going to start with my black string. So I have the other 3 a little bit more untangled, but I'm gonna keep them together for this bracelet. They're gonna kind of act as a stem, that will make sense. And then we've got this right here, which looks like the number 4. So we've got the stem of the 4, and we've got the point of the 4, and we've got the tail out here on the end. So this is really important to remember as we make this bracelet and the rest of our bracelets, to remember the number 4. It'll really help you out when we tie all of our knots. So we're going to take the tip and the edge of our 4 here, the tail, and we're gonna take it underneath the stem and pinch it towards the top. And holding it toward the top is very important because whatever string color is on the top is the string color that will show up in the knot. So I'm gonna hold my string or my stem of my 4 steady, then I'm gonna pull up the rest of it and make a knot. And it doesn't look like I did much yet because it was just the first knot. All bracelets usually start out looking a little funky until you get the gist of it. So we're just gonna start doing this one more than once. We're just gonna do it a whole bunch of times until we have roughly a 1/2 inch of black string, like a black stripe on our bracelet. And if you want yours to be a bit shorter, that's perfectly fine. Do it as however you like, and as many knots as you'd like. But I like having it about a 1/2 inch. So just remember, as you keep making the 4 and making the knots, then you keep whatever your leading string is, in my case it's the black string, on the top. And the bracelet's gonna wanna twist around a little bit, and that's okay. Just try to keep it as straight as possible. And you don't have to make the dramatic 4 every single time if you know what you're doing. So as you see, I'm just kind of sort of making it in my hand, not as dramatic. Just gonna keep doing this. Show you again the 4, the loop. So we're just gonna keep doing this until the stripe of black is as long as I want it. So I'm gonna do it a little bit longer than this. And sometimes it might come unclipped, just fix it. That looks pretty good to me for how much black I want at the start of my bracelet. So now the black string, which was once the leading string, joins the rest of the strings, and then I'm gonna pick out a new color. So I think I wanna do the green string next. So you gotta separate your green string from the rest of your other strings and make sure the black is connected there. So we're gonna do the exact same thing except for now our green string becomes our leading string and the black joins the white and pink down here. So it all starts out again with the number 4. So we take the tail of 4 underneath the rest of them, pull it tight, and then we've got the start of the next stripe. And then you'll keep doing that same thing as long as you want to with this color. I'm gonna go a bit faster because you've seen me do it slower already. This bracelet comes together pretty fast. So if you're looking to make a bracelet as a last minute gift for a friend and you don't have a lot of time, this is a good option. I'm going to stop here because I think my green stripe is about the same length as my black stripe, so I'm going to put the green string back with the rest of the strings, and then I'm going to pull out the next color that I want to use, which is going to be white. So I'm going to pull the white string out as my leading string, making sure that the green, pink, and black are all together, and then we start with the 4 again and make all of our knots. Okay, so now I have each of my 4 colors about 1/2 inch long, so you see 4 distinctive stripes. Now if I was gonna go through and make the entire bracelet, I would keep going, but I'm just gonna show you now how I'm going to end my bracelet. So imagine you would have done this probably at least one more time, maybe a third time that you get through your whole pattern, however long it ends up being, especially depending on how big your wrist is or the wrist of the person that you're making it is. So at the end, we're gonna braid it off to finish. So I realize there's 4 strands here. I'm still gonna do a 3-string braid. We're just gonna put 2 of them together. So I'm just gonna kind of pinch the black and the white one together, keep the green and pink separate, and we're just gonna braid it till we get closer to the end. And this braid doesn't have to look very pretty. It's just supposed to be functional, so it's easier for you to get the bracelet tied on when it's all finished. Okay, so your braided section probably won't be much longer than this necessarily. So then whenever you get to the end of your braided section, no matter how long it ends up being, you're gonna pinch at the base of the end of your braid and loop it around your fingers just like you had done at the beginning, and then pull the tail through the loop. Just try to cinch it up to the base of your braid, and then you're gonna pull it nice and tight. So then just to show you, the one that I made earlier that's completely finished, I got through my pattern fully twice, and then I had a little braid at the end, and then I knotted it nice and tight, so it's all ready to go on either my wrist or my friend's wrist. And that's how you make Snake on the Pole.